What's up guys, Cedo Gang here with another video. Guys, today I wanted to just take a look at a broad number of items in the market, mostly cards. I'm not really taking a look at sealed today, mainly because I'm just interested in just taking a look at the card market and generally how stable it's looking at the moment. We've seen a considerable price drop for a number of items. You know, the overnumbers were all around 1,000 each raw when it came out back in the end of October, if you guys remember. And now we're seeing, you know, that same price point, but for the graded PSA 10 versions. So, you know, signed cards were going for 1,000, 1,200, but now we're seeing that being the price of the PSA 10 version. So we'll take a look. And again, it's a good healthy look at the market, you know, close to 3 months down the line. And I mentioned that I would make a video around 3 months in, just to kind of have a look at the market, you know, a quarter through the year, see how we are doing. Of course, the preliminary conversation is that actually we're doing really well. Boost box demand is very high. It's selling really well, and the cards also look very healthy from a price standpoint. Of course, we have seen drops, but considering that there is such demand in the thousands for a game so early into its life, I think it's a very healthy look, and it does again show the demand. So, you know, first of all, I did want to initially take a look at the booster box case. I mean, really, this is the only sealed thing I'm looking at today. In that, in the US, we are still seeing things quite stable in the last few days. We are looking at sort of 1.75, which is good. And again, I said it before, so fortunately, the US is now receiving restocks. We are hearing more and more of allocations for Origins in the UK. In terms of restocks, we are hearing more allocation for Spirit Forged. All is great. But we haven't actually received them physically just yet. In the US, however, they are receiving restocks, and so we are seeing that price point drop from that 2.1k. I believe this was the best offer, but we are typically seeing the sales of 1.75, as we are seeing here, 1.76, 1.8. So we are seeing that reduction because we were seeing at some point, you know, 2.3k in terms of dollars in the US. It was getting crazy, and I expect this price to go down in the US, mainly because we are, you know, for another time, you know, probably time for another conversation for another time. But we are seeing restocks in America, but we are seeing that LGSs are going straight to the secondary market. So where they should be opening these cases and selling them at, you know, retail price to their customers because they have the privilege of being an LGS and having access to distributor prices. Actually, you are seeing some LGSs just go straight to the secondary market and sell it for, you know, damn near. Well, first of all, if a case, as I said before, is let's say it's $650 retail price, they're probably getting it for $400, for example. So where they would make $250 on top, they've decided to say, forget that. We're just gonna make, you know, damn near 6x on that. If I'm getting it for 400, I'm trying to sell it for 2,000 something. I'm almost getting 4x, or at least in this case, you know, 1.8. They're still getting, the 6x. So if I sell it for 400, try to sell it for over 2,000, trying to get 6x. Even if I just sell it for 1.7, they're over 4x what they paid. So I do think we're going to see that quite a bit. So I think we're going to see that a lot in the US. We will most likely see that a bit in the UK as well, but again, the supply for the UK is just much less, so that impact on the price point won't be as severe. So I do expect this price to go down over time in the US. However, in the UK, as I said, I do expect it to go down a bit when they arrive, but the supply is going to be so thin and the demand is really high over here as well. I mean, we see one that sold just a few days ago for 1.73k, and this was not the best offer. This was 1.73k, and that in US terms is 2.3k dollars. You know, very intense, very much heavy demand, and we probably will see that stay like that for a while until, you know, restocks happen. And even then, I am not too confident that, you know, the LGSs will sell at RRP to customers and they will open the boxes out and let people get individual booster boxes all packed. We'll just have to see as time goes by, but I do expect in the long term for these cases to be extremely lucrative. Again, I say it, the demand is so high that it's just very unlikely that LGSs will maintain their policy to allow you to buy a case. You know, at launch it was easy to buy a case, pre-orders for Spirit Forge, so you can get cases, that's fine. But once we actually hit the market with these things and we are looking at restocks and the demand is excessive, you know, LGS is in good faith just can't sell cases to 1 or 2 people. They need to spread it out to as many customers as they can. So I do expect that the scarcity of cases to maintain and get worse. So the price point of these should go up over time. So this is one I want to keep an eye out for. So yeah, you know, we spent about 5 minutes discussing that one piece, but I think it's quite important. We'll definitely track the boost box cases significantly, and I think this would be a very fascinating indicator of not so much a scalper situation, but almost a look at how intense a premium can be in the League of Legends space. So yeah. Okay, moving to cards. So just before I go into Riftbound 2025, I did see recently this sale. Again, whenever I find a sale for Project K, I always want to take a look. Again, for those that aren't aware, League of Legends Riftbound was at one point known as Project K, back when it was still in its design phase in the early days. This was a trial deck given only one time back in China, namely in a few offline events in areas like Macau. Of course, Macau being an international space, they had both Chinese trial decks made and English trial decks made. And of course, they did allow English decks and trial decks to be given out to fans and those that were there at the time. So of course, these hold the highest premium in League of Legends at the moment, in Riftbound at the moment. They are very scarce. Some of them, the sealed boxes have sold for 12k. They are very expensive. Some person was given an offer for 20k at one point. These I like to keep my eye out for, but you hardly see them. So anyway, we see a sale here. These are 2 cards that, again, you know, I have the Chinese version of this remaining. You see in the decks you get multiple of these of all these cards, and so these 2 combined in PSA 10, they managed to sell this for about $600, as we see here. And even here, if I click on this one, I wasn't looking at it initially. Even here, these you get like a bajillion of these in your deck. And again, because they're so rare, these sold for about 600, these 2 combination. So there is a lot of demand for 2024 Project K cards. I'd recommend you look into it. You will hardly see any on the market because there's hardly any out there. Particularly those in English, there's even less for those in English. So I think that's just one you keep an eye out for. If you can get the legend cards and get them in PSA 10s, those are effectively the holy grails in the long term. They are cheaper right now than say the Kaisa and Ahri, but in the long term, those will hit a very, very strong premium. Okay, moving on to some of the metal cards. Again, you know, as we said, as we saw initially, the initial rush in December, you know, the cards came out and they were selling for like $4,000 each. It was getting pretty crazy, but we are seeing a reduction significantly in most of them. Of course, Kaisa is the number 1 card to get and the number 1 champion to look out for in Origins, so she still holds a heavy premium. So we are still seeing a sale of $3,000 for this, and again, there were 35 of this made, and you know, still selling for a pretty penny. And again, I think this is going to be interesting going into the Paris and Las Vegas regionals to see what's going to happen. Again, you are going to see a complete feral behavior of humans, because they are all many are going to go there for the purpose of getting one of these cards, not to keep or hold or play with, just to sell, because there is extreme demand. And again, not everyone can go to those. 1, not everyone can travel to those places, and 2, not everyone was able to get a ticket to go here. And again, you have to be one for competition, not spectating as well. So these are Kaisa's gonna hold a strong premium. I mean, oh, I'm sorry, if my bad, I didn't throw this one in. I was supposed to look at this earlier, maybe another time, but this is just another Project K card. This was a promo in Chinese, so this isn't in any other languages. I did give this away actually back in the UK Riftbound Discord. Quick plug, if you're in the UK, check out the link in my bio for the UK Riftbound Discord. Vendors there sell for retail price, they get restocks, all good. But this, we gave it a giveaway in the Discord, and it was maybe worth $100 at the time. I just decided I'll give it away. This was before the English launch, and we just wanted to kind of build the community slowly and kind of garner conversation. So anyway, back to the metal cards. We see a Victor here as well, sold for it's short for 1.75 and best offer, I believe, about 1.6. Yeah, exactly. We see 1.65 in 2 occasions, and generally we do see at this point, if it's not Kaisa, it's going to be in the 1 1.5 range-ish. We see here Lux, actually hers is even lower. We see one sell for 1,000. And honestly, if it's not Kaisa or Ahri, the two biggest cards in Origins, it's basically sort of in the 1Ks. We see this Ahri cost sell for 3.5k, and again, from my understanding, it is pure luck in terms of who you get when you take the ticket to at the regionals. But of course, if you do hit the Ahri or the Kaisa, you know you are hitting big if you do want to sell. We see an Annie sell for 1.5. And again, it's still very respectable. We see the team, I believe, sell for 1.7 here. So again, still respectable numbers. These are premium cards. These are these will be very expensive in the future, for sure. Like, these would be extremely expensive, and that's not a bad thing. These are very cool cards. I just don't want to see feral behavior when everyone's just rushing in, just act like animals to try and get this card, and you know, just dampen the experience at the regionals. Moving over to you know, standard cards, non promos, we do see the Teemo signature signed card, and again, signed cards, similar thing. You know, we are seeing kind of between that 1 to 2k price point if you want Ahri, if you're not Kaisa, if you're not Lee Sin. Those three guys are the big premium cards at the moment. The rest kind of sit between 1k and sort of 1.8k. We see this Teemo and we see this Darius as well. This Teemo was going for 1.8 and they received the best offer. This Darius was going for 1.5 and received best offer. Again, both of these are the signed versions. If I recall correctly, this Teemo sold for 1.65 and the Darius sold for 1.35. Again, as I mentioned, we were seeing kind of these historical numbers at launch. So for the raw Teemo, we were seeing 1.3, 1.2, 1k. Same for Darius. But we are now seeing that they are kind of in line with the signed versions. I mean, Misfortune was going for 1.35 at some point as well, just raw. Of course, that has dropped now considerably. So as I always say, it's a matter of, do you want to take the risk at the time? I never recommend it. It's always just worth waiting a bit because the prices will go down as the supply increases. So I always say take a bit of time. There's no rush. This game has just come out. We have a lot of time to get the cards we want. So it's just always one thing, something to be mindful of. But again, we then look at, you know, the absolute queen and, you know, the #1 card in terms of demand. That's the Kaisa going for 4.5k. It is bonkers. It's bonkers. And again, I never expected it. I mean, I played League for 10 years, almost 10 years. I never expected it. I know she's loved. She's a great character. But I don't know, I still don't understand it, but I'm okay with it. I do like that she is loved. I do like when characters are loved, and you know, I'm not an ADC. I was never an ADC player. I was always mid, jungle, or support. Every now and then I play top. I was never an ADC. So I don't understand the world of ADCs. Ultimately, that's my gap, and I think that's fine, and I think that's healthy, and it's good to know that there are, you know, there are unique demands in each space, which I love. Which is why the game will be so popular in the future as more and more of these players from League of Legends enter into the card space. We see Kaisa, we see Ahri as usual as well, still in the 3k, still bonkers as well in terms of numbers. And again, I do love to see that the demand for these two are so strong. And it makes sense for Ahri, most definitely. She's been played for so long, she's a loved character. You know, she has a, you know, she comes out with they come up with a $500 skin line for Ahri, and people buy it like crazy. There's clearly a demand and love for Ahri, so it doesn't surprise me. We see again Yasuo. Again, I'm still so surprised by this, and I think this is such a sleeper card. Maybe it will never be the same price as Kaisa. Maybe it'll never be the same prices as Ahri as these go out of print and they start to climb excessively crazy in a few years to come. But I still think this card is so underrated and the price point is much less than, in my opinion, personal opinion, than it should be, really. It's a very dope card, one of the most gorgeous designs. I mean, I love just the lightning and the you know, pale eyes with no contact, with no, my goodness, with no iris. I love the look. I think it's gorgeous. And it surprises me that this is the same price as, say, the set card. Doesn't make sense to me that's the same price. I'm looking at both 1.4, 1.5. Doesn't make sense to me personally, but ultimately the demand, and what I love about League of Legends is that the demand comes from, you know, players who deeply love that one character. And that's what we're going to see as the years go by and as the sets go by, and we see more and more of these cards show up in the market. Leona continues to receive love, which I love. Just not as many PSA 10s in the market, to be honest, so I think she can maintain that premium. Looking at 1.5k in dollars. Gorgeous card. I managed to pull this in Chinese, not the signed version, just the standard version, but even then, still a gorgeous card. I gave that away in the Discord as well. And see Body Bear as well, 1.3. So again, I think these are all respectable numbers. These are all really good numbers, and it's deserving of these characters. They are great characters. It's the great first set, to be honest, of Origins. Great selection of cards. Great. What I love is how unique each artwork is. None of them look alike, which I very much appreciate. And it's just, again, looking at this card, it's so gorgeous. I very much appreciate what they've done with Riftbound Origins. And then again, the Kaisa premium continues. This is simply the Kaisa overnumbered. This isn't the signed version. This is just the overnumbered version. Again, not the signature. This is, you can get this in 1 in every 3 cases. That's the rarity. 1 in every 3 cases. So roughly 1 in every 72 packs. Whereas this Kaisa, the signed version, is supposed to be 1 in every 30 cases. That's 1 in every 720 packs. That is bonkers. So again, I can understand the premium on this. Here we're looking at 1 in every 3 cases. I pulled the team overnumbered, for example, not the signed but overnumbered. It's 1 in 3 cases. I've opened only 3 or 4, one of them, 3 or 4 booster boxes so far. Managed to pull the Teemo. This here is going for 1.25. This is the overnumbered, and this is at similar prices to, you know, the signed overnumbers. That goes to show the high premium on these cards. So in my opinion, if you are here purely from I want to grab cards that are going to be worth something in the future, Kaisa is obviously your person. I'm not really here for that too much. I think when you focus too much on money, things start to get a bit murky and the experience isn't as good. So buy what you want, buy what you like. I keep saying it. I can't wait for a Morgana card. It's going to be sick. Just buy what you want. But of course, there's a clear demand, if you are seeing here, for Kaisa, and these are holding a very pretty premium. But then for other cards in their overnumbers, we see here the set. This is only going for 300 in PSA 10. So you know, you see the difference in premium, damn near 4 times the difference in price. So for those that are new, and again, I think what's interesting is, I'll probably have to make some videos for this, there are a lot of people clearly entering the market, entering the Riftbound space that know almost nothing about League of Legends. And I think that's a problem, but also it happens with any TCG. There are just speculators, and if you're a speculator watching this, I'm sure you're seeing the Kaisa, and you're probably gonna have eyes on all the Kaisa cards and want to buy them. But I think ultimately we're gonna see that moving forward. Kaisa will just hold a pretty premium against everything, and I think for all sets moving forward, all sets in the set here, but for all sets moving forward, if there's a Kaisa card, just expect it to be of high demand, and keep an eye out for it. Let's say I won't look at any more promos, but this was a promo I wanted to look at. Again, we see the fist bump Riot card. Again, we don't see many of these. There are only 11 in total that have been graded with PSA. This was signed up for 650. Again, it's not the coolest card, but it is cool that there is a Riot logo behind it. So I was interested in how much it sold for, so I did want to mention this as well briefly. And then moving forward, probably another few more minutes. We're about 18 minutes into the video. I did want to look at a number of cards below $100. We have seen a few of the alt arts graded. So we do see the Misfortune in the PSA 10. It's quite interesting, the Buccaneer. I thought this was quite a fascinating price point. We see Leona as well, going for 95, but to be honest, this Leona card is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, here, this is purely, this is cool, but I think this is a very gorgeous card. Is this a skin line? I feel like it's a skin line. I'm pretty sure it's not a splash up, because it's saying here Panda Studio. I can't be sure, but this art is very gorgeous. The Zealot. Selling for 95. I would grab this in a heartbeat. Honestly, anything that's not. So we see here the Yasuo Remorseful, again, League splash art. So this is just they've taken it from his skin. I think any alt art that isn't purely a skin copy from League of Legends will hold a lovely premium in the future, because again, it's a gorgeous card. It's a very gorgeous card, and it's fresh. If all we're seeing is just a bunch of reskins, especially that, you know, we're seeing that in Spirit Forge, we're seeing the Jax reskin, we're seeing the Debonair Ezreal reskin. It's a bit boring. At least for League of Legends players who come into the TCG, they won't really want to collect that because it is kind of boring. Because we've seen those skins every time you load into the game, you're seeing the Ezreal skin, you know, sitting in his chair. You're seeing this and that character, so those won't hold a premium in the same way. You know, unique cards will, just like we're seeing here, selling for $95, whereas the Misfortune and the Yasuo selling for what, $75. I'm pretty sure this is a skin line in League of Legends. It's been a while since I've seen the Misfortune list of skins. Again, I just left that up for research. Just looking at the set standard overnumbered. Again, we saw the set sell for about $250 to $300 as a piece of 10. We are seeing the standard go for about $85. Here we can see it was initially $110. Again, we are seeing these overnumbers all more or less below 100 now. We see this Victor, $65. These are all great cards to sorry, apologies. This is the Chinese one. But we are seeing similar price actually in the Victor for the English version. If I just had it again. No, I was wrong. This one is slightly different. So we are seeing around £120, $120 actually, which is good. That's holding itself up quite a bit, which is good. And it makes sense in terms of Victor compared to Set. We see the Teemo selling for about 90. I still have that Teemo. I will most likely give it away as part of the Spirit Forged giveaways that I would do. And yeah, and then again, this Kaisa card has held itself up for a long time, and it's been stable from the beginning. Anyone that's been playing the game has probably noticed this has just been like at $95/$100 this whole time. I think it's a very cool card personally, and I think this will hold. This will spike for sure. For sure, not anytime soon. No time soon. There's gonna be more and more fun in the market once we're out of print. This is definitely one to keep an eye out for. We'll have discussions later on which ones to really keep your eye out for. This is one of them. It's a very cool card. Kaisa's loved. Kaisa's dope. And yeah. Moving on for the last few cards, we see Lee Sin, Silver 70. And again, I think we've probably, I'm sure as you've noticed, we have to just accept that the overnumbers are very cheap now. You know, at launch, these were all going for 300, 400, 500, just the overnumbered non-signed. But as the market has been flooded, even, you know, again, it's 1 in 3 cases, but there are just a lot being pulled. You know, we are seeing these for $70. I think these are all great purchases at this price point. Even if they jump a bit more, I think these are still great price points. And we see the Darius go for $50 as well. Fine price point in my opinion. These are great cards in the future. Volibear sell for $60. Great cards in the future. Jinx sell for $73. Fantastic pickup. Again, I keep saying it, I do hope in the future they do show the more womanly side to Jinx, the more, you know, in her feminine energy, as we've seen before. You know, right now they're playing her goofy kind of young, you know, probably young adult version, as opposed to like her as just a woman in her energy. But it is what it is. I think if we get a card like that, I think it'll do a lot better than kind of this, not tomboy, but kind of this, what's the word? I don't have the word for it. But I think the other versions we see of Jinx will do a lot better, and I'm sure they'll release it. Just a quick one on the Chinese one actually. Again, the Kaisa premium is so high. We're seeing even just the Chinese version sell for similar prices to the other English overnumbered. And then just lastly, one thing to keep an eye out for, I think, again, for people who are interested in just grabbing cards that will be worth a good amount in the future, the 4 cards in the proven grounds. So that's Yi, Garen, Master Yi, and Yi, Garen, Lux, and Annie. Of course, we are getting reprints, but they just won't be enough to sustain the supply. I think these will be worth a lot. And as I mentioned before in the previous video, while they are reprinting Proving Grounds, there will be a slight difference in the print quality. And they've stated it themselves. So I do think now this original wave of Proving Grounds will hold a premium. It's almost like pre-errata, or like how Pokemon has its base and then Shadowless, and kind of when there were just slight changes in the printing of them. I think the Proving Grounds will hold that premium. That doesn't mean much, you know. I do hope most people get them into their hands to play the game. But as you guys know, I'm here to just collect. I don't really play them. I like to just have these in my hands. So I have the first wave sealed, and I will buy the Proving Ground second wave sealed because I want to have both. I think that's kind of cool. But just expect the original cards to hold a bit of a premium moving forward. So yeah. That's it for today. Again, just a broad look at the market. Still waiting for Spirit Forge to come out. Looking forward to it. I am yet to buy a box, but I will soon because I do want to pull something. And I am still excited. It's not really my favorite set. I am looking for something else. You know, again, as you guys know, I'm just waiting for more Garden to come out, really and truly. But I'm looking for, you know, Zed and you know, other cool Kazakhs and Nidalee. Looking for those kind of cards, but it'll come eventually. There's no rush, and yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. As usual, if you're enjoying the time here, if you're enjoying the market watch here, leave us a like. If you guys have noticed, I don't really comment on cards that are worth quite a bit based on their playability, mainly because I don't play the game. As you know, I'm really here to collect. I've just come from League of Legends, and I've played this brand for so many years now, so I am here just to collect rather than play the game. So I don't really comment too much on the price points of cards that fluctuate based on their playability as the meta improves or meta changes. So I just focus on collectability. So that's, you know, that's the one niche you probably notice that I'm not in, and I'm fine not being in that niche, and I'm sure you guys watching are fine with me not fine also, because I'm sure many of you aren't playing as well. You're interested in collecting. I think my community will probably build to be one mainly around people that have come from League of Legends that are also interested in just collecting and enjoying their characters in another art form. So yeah, or like in another format. So yeah, cool. That's me. Cedo cards out. Again, like, comment if you're enjoying your time here a lot. You can leave a subscribe. If you don't subscribe, it's not an issue as well. I'm sure you're enjoying your time regardless. It takes me a while to subscribe to new channels as well. If I'm enjoying them, at some point I probably will subscribe when I do subscribe. But if you're not subscribed just yet, no worries. Just keep enjoying your time here. And yeah, man, I'll catch you soon. Cheers.